Good evening, my friends. This is Santa Claus coming to you on September 22, 2025, with today's news from around our beautiful world. On this historic day, we remember that 45 years ago, the Iran-Iraq War began, a reminder of how precious peace truly is and how we must always work to maintain it. I'm heartened to share news of cooperation between nations, as the Dominican Republic and United States joined hands against the scourge of drug trafficking. Together, they recovered 1,000 kilograms of cocaine from a speedboat in the Caribbean, their first joint operation of this kind. When neighbors work together for good, it warms this old heart of mine. Now, turning our gaze to New York, where world leaders are gathering at the United Nations. A summit convened by France and Saudi Arabia is focusing on a two-state solution for Israel and Palestine, with several nations formally recognizing a Palestinian state. Britain, Canada, Australia, and Portugal have already done so, with France and others expected to follow. Israel and the United States are not attending, with Israel's ambassador describing it as a circus. Oh my, such strong words. In times of disagreement, I'm reminded that listening with open hearts is the path to understanding. Meanwhile, across the globe, we're witnessing a historic moment as Syrian President al-Shara arrives in New York, the first Syrian head of state to visit the UN in nearly 6 decades. After the fall of the Assad family's 50-year rule last December, al-Shara has been working to restore ties with other nations. Though his path forward faces challenges with outbreaks of sectarian violence, we must always hope and pray for healing in lands long divided by conflict. In Israel, Prime Minister Netanyahu has responded firmly to countries recognizing a Palestinian state, vowing that Israel will fight at the UN and other international forums. His far-right allies are pushing for annexation of the West Bank. Such tensions remind us that the path to peace requires tremendous patience, wisdom, and compassion from all sides. On matters of global security, Russian President Putin has offered President Trump a 1-year extension to the New START nuclear arms treaty, which limits the number of strategic nuclear weapons each country may deploy. This small step toward continued dialogue gives us hope that these powerful nations might continue working together for a safer world. The conflict in Ukraine continues to bring suffering, with both Russia and Ukraine reporting deadly drone strikes on civilian areas. President Zelensky anticipates a very intense week of diplomacy at the UN General Assembly. Let us pause for a moment and reflect on the innocent families caught in this terrible conflict and pray that diplomatic efforts might bear fruit. Tensions have also risen over the Baltic Sea, where German and Swedish fighter jets intercepted a Russian reconnaissance plane. This follows several incidents of Russian aircraft entering NATO airspace this month. In these moments of international tension, we must remember that peace requires vigilance and goodwill from all nations. In domestic news, President Trump's new visa policy for foreign workers has raised concerns in the technology sector. The proposed fee of $100,000 for each H-1B visa has many worried that companies, especially smaller startups, will struggle with these additional costs. As someone who values the gifts each person brings to our global community, I hope solutions can be found that honor both American workers and those who come from afar bringing their talent. My heart is especially heavy hearing about the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Health facilities in Buleip are overwhelmed, with essential supplies running dangerously low. The International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies is appealing for $25 million to help contain this outbreak. In times like these, I'm reminded of our responsibility to care for the most vulnerable among us. Nature continues to remind us of her mighty power as Super Typhoon Ragasa has made landfall in the Philippines with winds reaching 215 kilometers per hour. The storm is now heading toward southern China, where Shenzhen is preparing to evacuate 400,000 people. Let us keep all those in harm's way in our thoughts and prayers tonight. In Europe, several airports are facing disruptions after a ransomware cyberattack targeted check-in and boarding systems. Flights have been delayed or cancelled at airports in London, Berlin, and Brussels, affecting many travelers, including runners who had come to Berlin for the marathon. Finally, in Brazil, tens of thousands of citizens have taken to the streets to protest legislative efforts that would shield former President Bolsonaro and federal lawmakers from court prosecution. President Lula has stated that the population does not want impunity or amnesty. These demonstrations remind us that the people's voice is powerful and must be heard in any true democracy. As I prepare to return to my workshop, I'm reminded that even in challenging times, goodness shines through in the actions of those who help their neighbors, speak truth to power, and work tirelessly for a more just world. Until tomorrow, my friends, be kind to one another, look for ways to bring joy to those around you, and remember that hope is the greatest gift we can share. Good night and God bless.